Okay, so the question is, Mike, after successful completion of course 1, 2, 3, in between, decided to start a brokerage. Which one is true for brokerage as per REBA 2002? So what it's saying is that he's completed courses 1 and 2, and he's left the third one in between. So the third one is not completed, so he's not even a salesperson yet. Okay.
Right.
So it gives you the 4 options in here in 1101. And it says he cannot start the brokerage as he has not completed course 3. But what he's saying in the question is he's decided to start a brokerage. It doesn't mean that he has to be the broker of record in that.
Really?
That's not necessary. Okay. So like, Mike, if you wanted to open a brokerage today, you can open one today. You just can't run it and you can't sell.
Okay.
So that's the only difference. So when we look at the options here, what he's required to do is if he wants to start a brokerage and he's got the money, but he doesn't have a broker license, so he would go scout a broker and make him the broker of record. That's the only way his doors could open for business.
Okay.
You follow?
So yeah.
So just think of it for yourself, because you're not licensed at the moment. So think of it for yourself. You want to open a brokerage tomorrow. You would have to go scout a broker and then make him the broker of record. That's the only way you can open a brokerage. Because you can open it as the investor, you can own the company, right?
Yeah.
You can retain the profit. You can pay your broker of record a salary if you wanted to. You can decide all of those things, but you need the broker first to open it up.
And that's the thing. What I guess I don't understand the question is because a broker is beyond being a broker of records. So
yeah, well, you have to make a broker of record. So if you open a brokerage called Mike Bird Realty Inc., you can do that, and then you would want to dedicate a broker that you found. So let's say you found John Smith, who's a broker, and you made him broker of record. You can now open your company, and it's open for operation.
Selling through him then.
Well, it's not so much selling through him. It's the realty company that's selling everything, and then it has agents underneath. Remember how it works? So the agents are representing Mike Bird Realty.
Okay.
So even though your corporation is making money, you're charging brokerage fees, you're charging an office split, you could pay yourself a dividend for owning the company, but you don't have to do any work.
Right. So a broker of record, that's the first thing a brokerage needs in order to run, no matter what. Even if I had my broker's license, I still need a broker of records on staff.
Well, there's 2 options there. If you have your broker's license yourself, you can either be the broker of record at that point, because you have a broker's license. That's the requirement to become a broker of record. So if you have your own broker's license, you can open your own brokerage and you can be the broker of record.
Okay. I thought you had to be an employee of the place. And
No.
Okay, your screen is blinking on and off like crazy right now. It goes into...
I don't know why, but you know what? I'm just going to leave it the way it is because I'm running a recording session of it as well.
Yeah.
So that screen is not really doing too much funny business, so I'm just going to leave it the way it is at the moment.
Sure. Okay.
Okay, let's move on. Next question. Did you get that one okay?
So it takes the listing, becomes official agent for the seller. Yeah, that's pretty straightforward.
That one's fine. Okay, and what about 1103? Because we kind of just covered that right now.
Yeah, you can, but why?
No, you can't. It says it states that a salesperson can be designated as a broker of record. You have to be a broker.
Right.
Salesperson is not a broker. You have to be a broker, and then you can be a broker of record.
So that if I was just a salesperson, open my business, I'd still have to find the broker.
Yes, you would. That's correct.
Yeah. All right.
Correct.
I got a complete.
Just think of. You know what? You can also think of it as another example. Think of it as your G-class license. You're a salesperson. If you have an A-class license to drive something else, you're a broker. So you need to still get that license.
Okay.
So you can't have a G and start driving an A. You can't do that. You have to have the A, and then you can drive it. So same idea. You have to have the broker's license, then you can be the broker of record. Or you can still scout another broker of record if you want to.
Yeah.
Okay. Still okay. Still up to you. Not a problem. It's still your choice.
All right.
Let's go to 1104. If an applicant's registration or registrant's renewal is refused or revoked, that person must wait for at least how many months before reapplying?
Yeah. That's the 12 months. I went back in my notes and
Yep, and that's really straightforward. So all you have to remember, if anybody gets refused or revoked, you're looking at 12 months.
Okay. Yep, a year.
Nice.
All right.
Nice and simple, right?
Yep.
Okay, so let's go to 1105. Who oversees regulatory matters and activities centered on registration, consumer protection, compliance, professional standards? This one's really easy.
Yeah, it's easy.
It's all RICO.
I got a star beside the next one, though. I don't. Oh, there's no answer. Oh, actually, you know what? The answer was on the other page, and I realize that now.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So how many credit hours of mandatory continuation are required every 2 years? It is 24.
Yeah, I remember that.
Right.
Okay. Now the next one, I have a question mark on the CDJ. CDJ.
All right. Let's look at it. It says if a buyer files complaints about a salesperson with a local real estate board, what would the board use to determine the course of action?
I don't know what the CDJ is.
It's a model. I believe in the book it describes it kind of like where you have the complaints. It goes through a department, and that department determines whether it's a valid complaint or not. Then it goes into
jurisdiction.
Yeah, it'll go into probably the registrar. Registrar is the fellow who's sitting at RICO that would make that decision at that point. So that's usually how they would do it. I
don't know what the J is. You know, they kind of threw me off. So
the J, I'm trying to remember. I haven't seen this question in a little while for some reason. It's blanking me right now.
Yeah, it never crossed.
You can think of it as the adjudicator, because that would be the registrar in this case.
Okay.
So it goes to complaints. They go to a department is going to determine whether it's a valid complaint or not, and then the registrar is going to then attend to it. And then there's also still the disciplinary committee that's going to decide what's the fine, if there is a fine or not, or if there's going to be a warning.
And that's under RICO.
Yeah, that's under RICO.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it can't be CMHC because that's for mortgages. RCI is something else, and CC. Yeah. So those are all other things, so they don't apply to those. So what about 1108? Was that good?
That's pretty straightforward.
1109.
Yeah, that's easy.
1110.
FRI stands for.
It's a designation you can get. So after you become a realtor, you can go to the institute, fellow of the Real Estate Institute, get a designation or certification, and then after your name you can write comma FRI.
Yeah, I didn't know that. All right.
Yeah.
So that's the way it's referred to, fellow of the Real Estate Institute.
That's the one. That's it.
FRI. And then that's after you've done your sales person's license, then your broker's license, and then you go after.
No, you don't have to do it before the broker's. You can do it after the salesperson, and then you can just have it as a comma. Like how people write comma MBA. So same kind of idea. It's just a designation certification, so people are aware of it.
All right.
Okay.
Yep.
And then we got 1115 in residential real estate market. Which of the following affects the most?
Well, it's saying here change in family.
So we're talking about the residential real estate market. So when you look at the houses in Kitchener, for example, which of the following is going to affect it? So if the family either has a breakdown, they're going to part the house quickly. If the family is growing, they're going to want a bigger house quickly. If the school requirement changes, the family composition is changing, so there's changes in that scenario. Or if there's a child being born and there's other things happening, or child going to college or university, then that changes the scenario.
Okay, I get it. Next one, I got a. Oh, sorry.
Yep.
Next one, I got a star beside it. There is no answer, and I still don't understand it.
Okay, let's look at it. Do you remember what value and use is?
value in use, yeah, and that's what I am going for as the answer. But value in use means that the person who owns the house, he's using it at his value that he's got invested in it, basically. And
yeah, value in use is the one that has the economic good in it for him.
Yeah, like it's good for him. He's got the value and he's using it. Value of exchange means only the amount of money that you get or the price of the house sold is actually determining the value that was exchanged.
Right. Okay, so let's read the question here. Peter owns a bungalow with a large back deck, works from home office. He feels pride using it for physical fitness, but the average employed person, it is painful exercise for grass cutting and maintaining. Peter was attaching additional $26,000 to the price tag while selling. What type of value this refers to?
Well, that would be value in use because
there's no value in exactly, because there's no value in exchange happening yet, so nothing's been sold, no money's been received.
Okay.
So it would be value in use because he has a benefit from it.
Right. I understand that. That's good.
Whether people have to the grass cutting and the exercise, that doesn't really have anything to do with anything.
It's the price that he's tagged on.
Yeah, because the size of the lot still's got a great value to it, and because he's using, he works from the home office, he's using a part of it for physical fitness. It's still he has an advantage because he's not paying office rent anywhere else, and then he's also not paying the gym. So he's got value and use happening here.
Yeah.
He's got economic good happening here for himself. Okay. And then
the next one here, it's easy. It's the labor material.
Yeah, labor material.
The CPI kind of threw me off for a minute.
CPI is a consumer price index, so every year we'll take 600 goods and services. So we'll take your eggs and your milk and your gas and your water, and we're going to look at the 600 most common things households purchase, and we're going to make a price index out of it every year.
So consumer price index.
Yeah.
Acronyms really get me, I tell you.
Yeah, I know. There's a ton of them in the book. So, consumer price index, you just got to try to remember them. When you hear them over and over, just watch the video, review it, and then that'll help you, of course, just having them, sit with you better. 1122, how was that one for you?
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. It's none of the above.
Okay.
It's actually showing that it's a buyer's market.
Yep. And what about the next one, 1123?
Well, then that turns around.
And 1124?
I got a star on that one.
Okay. According to the encyclopedia, business cycle has 4 components: prosperity, recovery, recession, and the 4th one is market bubble.
No, I only understand 3, and that's prosperity, recovery, and recession.
Because there only is 3.
Oh, okay. Well,
so
then
it's just a trick question. Yeah, there's no such thing as a market bubble in this, and when you do the business cycle, because in the business cycle, remember that when you draw a big mountain, from the bottom going up, that's recovery. When you hit the top of the mountain, that's prosperity. When you come downwards, that's the recession happening, and that's it.
Yeah.
Now, if you decide to do
two peaks.
Sorry?
But between the 2 peaks, what is that?
Amplitude.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when you start converting that business cycle into a real estate cycle, all you do is that the top of the mountain that says prosperity, you would change that to peak.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. That makes it a real estate business cycle or real estate cycle.
Okay.
Okay? And anything that says there's a market bubble, that's automatically false.
Yeah.
All right. So what about 1125?
Well, I got a question beside that one. I don't know yet. Just going to step fifth of the appraisal process. I couldn't find it when I looked it up. I'm not sure if there's even a 5 in there. 5 steps.
Yeah, when you look at the appraisal process, the 5th step is the direct comparison approach for you to analyze an appraisal. Okay. I have some notes, I believe, on appraisal. I'll actually pull them up for you. They're actually in my course 3. They do the step-by-step breakdown really nicely, so I'll pass them on to you so you can memorize that.
All right, thank you.
Really easy. And what about 1126?
Hang on a sec. No, there's no question mark, so I must have got it right.
Okay, 1127?
For sale according to CFJ. completed, not absorbed. Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
1128.
1127 though. Wait. Yeah, that's right. Okay, 28. Yeah, that one there is very confusing.
Okay, it says which one is not true.
Right.
So it says the nominal interest rate is the same as the stated interest rate.
Nominal interest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me.
Well, they're two different things, first of all.
Right.
So they're not the same thing in this question. Then it says capitalization is the method of converting gross income into value, which it's not.
No.
Those are two different things. Market price is derived from several comparable market values, which is not.
I say that's true. It's not?
No, it's not.
That's when you do a market value. Is it all the comps of the houses in the area gives you? Oh yeah.
It says several market values, not market prices.
Right.
So it would have been price paid. See, it's so close. One word is changed just to throw you off.
I don't know if I like this career.
I know, but this test is just designed that way. But as long as you cover this question now, you'll remember it. That's why we're doing the mock exams, okay?
Yeah.
So, and the last one is when analyzing market trends, the value that appears most frequently is called a median. That's not right because it's the value in the middle.
Yeah. Median is the value in the middle.
Yeah, like if you have 5 numbers,
yeah,
the one in the middle would be the third number. That would be the median.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So it would be all of them.
All of them are wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. It says when calculating rent for an office, the rent is based on.
Yeah.
And then it's rentable space.
So that's the rentable areas, right? Usable area is the actual area you're using, but you have to pay rentable area, which includes
right, because let's just say you have a rectangular rectangular warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
For the area that's covered from start to finish, even though you have like one is a furnace room and one is a storage room and one is a key room or whatever, you still got to pay the whole rentable area for the whole square shape of the warehouse.
Okay.
They're not going to start deducting the furnace room and say, okay, well, you're not going to really be doing anything in there, so we'll subtract that from the rent. That's not going to happen.
Okay. So the contribution, that's understandable. Right?
Yep, you understand that one because we discussed that with a few examles a few times. Yep, okay, good.
I also use that as my own example.
Yep, good. So. And what about 1140?
1140.
Yep.
I don't have a list. Oh, this pages might be screwed up. Here, 1140 at the bottom. Okay. Yeah, that's understandable too.
Okay.
I got that.
41.
Yeah, big question mark there.
Okay. It says the closing date is on November the 14th. The buyer is assuming the mortgage with a balance of roughly 30,000.
30,000, yeah.
And change. As of that day, the seller paid the mortgage for November 1st for $495. The interest portion of the payment is due on December 1st for $402.30, and that'll be paid by the buyer. On the statement of adjustments, what portion of the interest will be credited to the buyer? So basically, there's a calculation that Calvin will teach you here, and in this calculation, he'll show you how to calculate the amount of mortgage payment that's allocated for the person who's assuming it on the exchange day, on the closing day. So Calvin will actually walk you through this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I just hope that we're going to line up on that because I don't have too much faith in that.
I'm going to speak to him today for you, all right? So I'm going to give him a call, and I'll make sure I talk to him for you.
It's also a cost thing for me. Like, I'm going to have to be buying your services for the next the next 2 courses too, you know. Is there math in the next 2 courses?
Yeah, he covers when he teaches you math, he just teaches you for 1, 2, and 3 together.
1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, because 2 and 3 have a lot less math and they're pretty straightforward formulas. So he'll actually finish you up for 1, 2, and 3 all at once. And then that's why when you do the Skype, what computer do you have? A Mac, right?
Yep.
When he teaches you Skype, open your photo booth and record it.
Oh, is that how you do it?
Yep.
Photo booth?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll practice.
Yeah, practice it first and then record it and test it out. Like you can Skype with me, open it up, record it, and then you can test it out that way. So these math questions that are left over, that's the rest of the exam. I'm going to have him touch base with you on that. I'm going to talk to him as soon as I can.
So here's my deal. And I was talking to my son, he's in university.
Yep.
I'm a practical man. I have books, I have libraries of information. And that's how I do my business. I don't do it by formulas in my fucking head.
Yep.
And this is what's bothering me when I write the exam. I just cannot remember these formulas.
Right.
Okay? And